Well, thanks everybody for joining the Prosperous Sellers podcast. My name's Steve Yates. I'm your host. With me is Saqlain. Saqlain, welcome.
So thank you so much, Steve, for inviting me. It's my pleasure to have you to join your podcast.
Yes, it's our honor to have you as well. I understand you're quite the expert on all things shipping and logistics. So really want to pick your brain today. Why don't you start telling the audience a little bit more about who you are, who Elevate Logistics is, so they can have a better understanding.
Okay, so thank you so much again, Steve. So my name is Saqlain Mushtaq, and basically I am from Pakistan, but now living in Portugal. So I am a co-founder of Elevate Logistic, and that is a cross-border e-commerce logistic company. We are mainly shipping from China to 150 destination, and we are serving mainly to e-commerce brands. So this is Elevate Logistic.
Awesome. Maybe we can start out with just giving a rundown on all of the things that a seller, let's say they're just getting started and they don't know the whole logistics process. Could you just walk us through the steps? Like, okay, I've got a product, it's in China. What are the things that need to happen to get it to the US FBA facilities? And what are the timings of those things look like?
Okay, so as mostly Amazon sellers, they are a new, and mostly e-commerce sellers, either they are selling on a TikTok, Walmart, or eBay. So they thought that only the Chinese can do a logistics. So logistic is for me, logistic is very interesting topic to speak about it. So for example, once you have your supplier in China, and after manufacturing their goods, so here we come as a freight forwarder. So once your inventory is ready, so we need to pick that specific inventory from your supplier warehouse, and we will take this inventory into our warehouse. It can take up to 2 to 4 days because China is too much big. So depending upon where your factory is and where is our warehouse, it can take up to 2 to 3 days to receive your inventory in our warehouse. After receiving the inventory, our team will measure your cotton details, dimensions, weight, and we will share the data with you. Once you will approve your data, once you will give us a go ahead, we will prepare your packing list and the other documents, and we will load your shipment into a container. And there is a cutoff date. Cutoff date is the last date of loading the inventory into the vessels. So we must need to load that specific vessel, a specific container into the vessel. And after loading the inventory into the vessels, so that our task will complete here. So now it's about a vessel. So they will give their documents to the port authorities and take a green signal to sail from that specific ports. So once the vessel is sailed, so we as Elevate Logistic will provide you a tracking IDs so that you can track on our website while sailing the vessel in the ocean. So once we will provide your tracking IDs, so you can just put on our website. So what you will get the coordinates. You just need to put that coordinates into a GPS coordinates, and you will get the exact destination, exact position of that specific vessel sailing in the sea. And once your inventory will reach on the port, on a destination port, it can be a US port, any port. So then the loading will we will do the unloading of that.
By the way, how long does that typical ocean freight shipment take these days?
So it's depend upon the position where we are shipping the inventory destinations. Mainly for a US West Coast, if you are using a standard sea, it takes around 27 to 33 days, and for the central region, for the Texas, Indiana, it takes around 33 to 38 days, and for the East Coast, it takes normally 40 to 50 days. I am talking about the standard sea, but for the US, we have a fast vessel as well, like a Metson, like a Costco 23. So they are bit faster. The reason behind the bit faster is that they don't have a port of call, means they don't need to stop in the middle ports. So, for example, Medicine is a US based company. So they directly sail from Ningbo and Shanghai and directly comes to Long Beach. So, for example, for a West Coast, this inventory received within 16 to 18 days. And for the center region, takes around 20 to 23 days. And for a West Coast, it takes around 25 to 30 days.
Got it. Yeah, continue going on. I thought that was really good information for people to know.
Okay, so after reaching the inventory on a port, after the unloading, we do a custom clearance. Custom clearance normally takes around 5 to 7 days if there is no inspection call. So if customs have some, if custom will give us an inspection notice, so they need to inspect the goods physically. So it takes around 2 weeks, around 2 to 3 weeks. So after the custom clearance, we need to make a, if your inventory is going to Amazon, we need to make an appointment with the Amazon against the FBA and a reference IDs that you shared with us earlier. So once we make appointment with the Amazon, so we do an inland transportation from port to your Amazon warehouse. And if it is going to any 3PL warehouse, so we do a call with your 3PL warehouse representative and make a so we make a appointment so when we can deliver the goods. So this is the whole process in logistics.
Got it. How much notice do you get from customs that they're going to do an inspection, and what percentage would you estimate actually go through an inspection?
Okay, so right now the inspection rate is around 3 to 5%. For example, if you are shipping 100 containers, so you are just receiving an inspection notice against 3 to 5 containers. Just so
Okay.
let me explain here. The custom notices totally depend upon your documentation. For example, mostly our clients do a DDP, that is a delivered duty paid, means they just need to pay us a amount per kg. So we need to handle their custom duty, each and everything, their ocean fees, their pickups, their inland transportation within US. So we just need to declare the goods at a right amount. So if we do a under invoicing, so custom will inspect the goods because this is a suspicious activities. So mostly Chinese freight forwarder do.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Good to know. And then you can get the inventory to the 3PLs or FBA or a combination of both, right? You guys can
Exactly.
handle that. Yeah. Tell me about how have things changed with tariffs, like thus far, and then kind of looking forward, what could happen? What are the things that sellers need to understand, think about, tactics to, to work around some of these? Any thoughts you have to share on tariffs?
Okay, so as Steve, you also have experience with the tariffs because US put almost 155% tariff previously on the goods that are coming from China, and that is very hard time for a seller as well and for the buyers as well, because the buyer are the last person who is ultimately paying all the tariffs because. They are the one who is buying the goods, and the seller is actually transferring that tariff to them. But then China and US have a deal in Geneva in Switzerland, and they so right now there is a 30% tariff on all the goods that are coming from China to US. But recently, Mr. Donald Trump. In a press briefing at a White House, they said that if China don't stop their rare earth exploration, we will put 100% tariff on November 1st or maybe earlier. This I don't think Mr. Trump will put this tariff because lastly Mr. Trump was the one who actually lost that war. He was the one who want to make a deal with China, and eventually they have a deal with China because. Because if you see mostly e-commerce goods who are selling on Amazon, they are mostly the seller who are actually sourcing these goods on China from China. And I told that I mostly told all my friends, China and US cannot survive with each other. US cannot survive without China, and China can also not survive with
Mhm.
US. So I don't think so. This is just a threat because China actually China was actually importing the rare earth minerals from US, but now they start exploring their own mines as well. And they also start importing that rare earth minerals from the other countries. So they are just threatening them. If you don't buy these rare earth minerals from us, we will put another 10%, sorry, another 100% tariff on them. But there is no such a news from the customs and a border control. This is just a news that are circulating on a media. So if I tell about the customs and custom controls, so there is no such news, official news, that US is going to put that 100% tariff.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just leverage, right? They're just trying to use it as a tactic to get them to the negotiation table, essentially. But if you're a seller and you've got inventory or a brand, that needs to source and bring products into the U.S., I've got inventory waiting. Do I ship it? Do I hold it? Do I divert it? Like, what do you suggest right now in this kind of holding pattern until we either come to a revised tariff that actually works for everybody, or it goes away because negotiations are successful?
Yeah. So if you have any inventory that is already or that are just in the last phase of manufacturing, I highly recommend to ship that inventory, because last time when US actually put 154% tariff on the goods that are coming from China, that are only actually applied on the goods that are shipped after that specific dates. So if you ship earlier than 1st November, so there will be no specific tariff on the goods. But
Mhm.
still, it depends on what are the means of, if a Trump applied this tariff, so what will be the strategy, what will be the implications. So the US customs will explain this. But as per the previous experience, that will be applied on the goods that are coming after 1st November. So if
Mhm.
and the other things, what big sellers do, they actually take the goods to any third country. This is a gray method. So they take the goods to any third country from China, and then that from that specific country they actually import that goods to US by paying a low tariff. But this is only doable if you have a time. If you have a time, if you don't have a time, if you are selling on Amazon, if you are selling, if your buyers are willing to buy quickly, so you don't have a time, so you cannot do this. Because if you bring that product to any third country and from there you can import that specific good into a US, it will take another 30 to 40 days. So there are some other means people are doing some other gray hat method as well. But it totally depend means how you have a time, because every gray methods actually cost you some time.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of moving parts right now. How about sourcing in other countries? I know you do logistics from other countries as well. What about sourcing from Taiwan or other countries in the region? Is that something you're seeing more and more people look for alternative sourcing destinations?
Uh, Honestly, Steve, I don't think so. The reason is that China have very systematic manufacturing plants. So
Hmm.
means uh, how the China actually build their means factories, how they are available through Alibaba and through 1688, means you just don't need to go that specific location. You can just type something on your browser. You can have a factories list there, and uh, you can negotiate the price there as well. And other than that, China's factories are too much systematic. They have their quality and control department as well. Every factory have their quality and control department as well. And as a nation, they are more towards the production as compared to other countries. So for example, if means if I call some country's name, so you have some thought. For example, if I talk about the Thailand, you the first word that come to your mind is a tourism. Okay, for example, if I called about the Mexico, so you have the first word that comes to your mind is a tourism. So when I call the when I name a China, so you have a first word come to your mind is a factories. So they have a very big network as a factories. And the other thing is that shipping from China is very easy as compared to other countries like Taiwan, like Hong Kong, like Vietnam. So if the end cost, the landing cost, means the manufacturing cost, shipping cost, and all the costs, if you include all that things, if Trump put a 100% tariff, then the landing cost will be lower in case of China as compared to other third countries. So that we experienced when Trump's put a 154% tariffs on the goods. So a lot of our clients actually try to switch their supplier from China to another countries, but the labor cost, but the raw material cost is much higher in the third countries. For the some products, for example, if you are sourcing a bamboo related products, I will recommend you can go to Vietnam, because China also source a bamboo product from Vietnam. But
Mhm.
for the other products, means for the other products, they are also sourcing their raw material from China. So it's very difficult if you switch your supply chain from China to any third countries.
Yeah, I guess, think about where your product's being manufactured, the source of the materials are being manufactured, and that may help steer the sourcing a little. Like Pakistan's really known for fabric, right? Like sheets and things like that. If China is already sourcing their products from there, or like the bamboo example, maybe it makes sense to look into those countries. And I think other countries are like India and stuff, they're really trying to build up the infrastructure to compete against China, but we're so far off on a lot of that you're really kind of stuck sourcing the majority of your products from China. But I think it's a good idea to diversify and think about, how do I not put all my eggs in one basket, but just know that the reality is you're probably still going to be sourcing a lot of stuff from China.
Exactly, Steve. One thing is that the other part is a shipping. So if you can find a supplier from other than China, so shipping from any third country, for example, let's name about a Pakistan. Pakistan is my home country. So if you think about shipping a product from Pakistan to any third country, so it is a nightmare. Let me explain you about something. For example, this is a phone, and let's suppose this is a cover, phone cover, and it is, let's suppose it's made in a Pakistan. So if you want to ship that specific product from Pakistan to any third countries, so our Pakistani government says that you must need to take the payment in a bank account that is in a Pakistan, and then show that you have received the payment of that specific product that you are shipping. So then you are able to ship that specific product from Pakistan to China. But mostly sellers have their payment terms with the have a payment terms with the freight forwarders.
Yeah.
So how you can actually proceed in this case, if you have a 30 days payment terms with your freight forwarder, but our government says that you can only able to ship that product once you have your 100% payment of that specific product in your bank account. So this is a problem as well. And the
Yeah,
other
cash
thing is
flow
that,
is a
yeah.
good it's a good consideration. You're right. There's a lot more flexibility when you're buying from China. From China, they're both the factories and freight forwarders and stuff give terms that you just can't get otherwise. Tell me, as far as things like uh, workarounds on tariffs, like, oh, I've got this added expense now. Do you vendor terms are one of the negotiation things, right? With factories, I need more terms. Maybe I had 30-day terms. I'm pushing to 60 or 90-day terms with the factories. What other tactics? And first off, if you could speak to that, are you seeing similar things occurring there? Maybe 120 days in some cases, or are are there other tactics to kind of work with the factories to get cost savings for you?
Okay, so if you are sourcing any specific product from China, and after the tariffs, even the Chinese sellers also realize that this is an extra burden. The tariffs are extra burdens on the sellers. So when means as I always told about, I always refer you about a 155, 154% tariff because we have experience recently. So when US actually imposed that 154% tariff, lot of Amazon, lot of suppliers actually give a more credit terms to the sellers. But the thing is that tell them that we are doing this business with you. We have done this number of business with you in terms of US dollars, for example, $50,000. But this tariff is added extra pressure on us, and we cannot pay you. So you can actually decrease the prices, and you can also means take a quotations. What most many people do, that you can take extra quotations from others seller as well, and show them that we are actually got this quotation as well. We can only do a business with you if you give us a 60 days payment terms, 90 days payment terms, because you are the one the factories most care about you, because 90% of the factories, Chinese factories, are shipping to the US. So if you are not getting if you are not actually buying from the that specific companies, so they are actually at the end they are losing their clients. So if you will not speak to them, they will not give you a credit term. So you have to speak about them that we have done a business with you in the last 6 months about a $50,000. So if you will not give us any payment terms, we are not going to buy any product anymore. So I think so they will give you a credit terms. This is a state tactics. But if you are going to Canton Fair for the tactics, I just say that for me, if I will go to Canton Fair, so I don't actually negotiate the prices when they are on their booth, because they thought that this is the biggest trade event in the world. So they have a lot of people who are actually willing to buy the product from them. So they actually raise their prices 10 to 15 times, and then they negotiate and close the client at least 5 to 7% higher than their usual price on a content fair. What I do as a sourcing agent, for example, so what I do, I bring a notebook with me. I just say greetings to them. Hi, how are you? What are you doing? This is my profile. I am doing a work with lot of clients. So I am working as a sourcing agents. So I take their details, ask them what they manufacture them, just staple their business card on my diary. So once the Canton Fair ends, I start discussing about the price. If I am in China, so and I need that product, I actually visit their factory, bring a fruit basket, because this is considered a very valuable in China, and then I negotiate the price. And the other thing is that for me as a sourcing agent, means we have another company called a Sourcivate. For them, for that we actually we work as a sourcing agent for many big brands who are selling on Amazon. So what we do, once we receive the inquiry, we actually send the inquiry to all the people. For example, this is a water bottle. So if I receive the inquiry of a water bottle, we actually shoot an email to all the people who are selling, who are actually manufacturing the water bottle, and the data we actually gather through a Canton Fair. So then we actually negotiate the prices, and at the end of the day, once we finalize 2 and 3 suppliers, so we send our we send our 1 or 2 teammate with the fruit basket to their factories. So we have a dinner with factories. So then we can negotiate a price by sitting face to face. But on a Canton Fair, I don't recommend anyone to negotiate a price, because you are going to end up buying the things at least 5 to 7% higher than their standard price. So just go a Canton Fair, explore the Canton Fair, just gather the data, and also connect with them on a WeChat. Once the Canton Fair is ended, then you can actually discuss the product details with them.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's one thing that I think a lot of sellers, when they first start, they don't really understand the differences in negotiation tactics and the way the Chinese operate their businesses. And you really have to understand them and understand what appeals for them culturally, how you need to kind of interact with them and so forth. So those are some good suggestions. What about like shipping plans into Amazon and avoiding inventory placement fees? Any suggestions you have around how to actually plan for the shipments to get into Amazon in the best way possible?
Okay, sure. So if you are shipping from China, so Amazon will only give you a two option to create a shipment. One is a Amazon optimized shipment split. So in this way, Amazon will give you a five warehouses that are actually located in different regions. As per Amazon, that is maybe on a west coast, some are on a west coast, some are on a center region, some are on a east coast. In this way, you don't need to pay any placement fee to Amazon, but you will get the Amazon warehouses in three different regions. Okay, and the other one, on the other one, you can get a warehouse at your own desire. It can be on west coast, it can be on a central region, it can be on a east coast. But in this way, you need to pay a placement fee. So what I recommend the people, so you can actually calculate the cost by considering two methods. On a first method, for example, if your inventory is going into a five warehouses, you can just calculate their shipping prices. For example, you have a five warehouses. One is a ONT8, other one is a LAX9. Both are located on a west coast. Then you have a two other warehouses, that is a FTW1, that is in a Dallas, and then you have a FWA4 that is also in the center region. So then you have a third warehouse, let's suppose that is a AVP1, that is on the east coast. You just need to calculate your shipping cost from China to these warehouses, sum all the costs, and that is your means option one. On option two, you have a three regions, means you have a shipping cost. For example, if you are shipping to west coast, you need to pay a placement fee that will be a higher. So you can consider that placement fee, some with shipping cost to that specific warehouse that Amazon will give you on a west coast. So this is the option two. And the third option is, if you select a center region warehouse. So in this way, you also have and you also need to pay a placement fee, but that will be lower than if you will get a warehouse on a west coast. So then sum that placement fee with the shipping cost, and same you can do with the, if you want to get a warehouse on a east coast. So in this way, you have a four option. You just need to compare these four options, and then you can decide which one is a cheaper. And in this way, you can consider in this way you can create your shipping plan by considering these four options. But if you are shipping from within US from any 3PL warehouse, so in this way, you have more options. Means Amazon will give you an option with UPS carrier partners. Amazon also will give you an option with LTL, and there is an other option that mostly Amazon seller don't realize, that is Amazon Freight as well. So Amazon Freight have a different portal. You just need to go there, register there. Amazon Freight actually act as a freight forwarder. They will pick your inventory from your 3PL warehouse or from any factory within US and take this inventory to Amazon warehouse. As per my experience, if you have an inventory as a truckload, Amazon Freight is always a cheaper option. And UPS, that is SPD inventory, you can small parcel delivery option when you are creating a plan. So that is usually a most expensive method if you are shipping within US.
Yeah, those are good suggestions. How about making sure the packaging is able to endure not only that ocean shipment and other truck shipments, but also the individual shipment from the warehouse to the customer, whether that's an Amazon warehouse, TikTok warehouse, wherever. Um, especially if it's bulkier items like table games where they're heavy and you need to reinforce packaging and stuff, um, or other packaging that you might recommend, like putting QR codes on the boxes or product inserts in a package or anything to share with the sellers that are in the stage where they actually still have the ability to kind of plan this the right way from the beginning.
Okay, so I will explain. I will first initially start with the Amazon. For example, if you are shipping to Amazon, you Amazon have a guideline. You must need to follow that. I quickly cover the things. The first is you must need to have a FNSKU. We usually call it item label on each and every product. Okay, if you don't have, Amazon will not scan the product, so your inventory will go into a missing inventory.
Or a
So
UPC
after,
code, right? Because they're going
yeah,
by those.
yeah,
Yeah.
UPC code. So after this, you must need to pack your inventory in a 5-ply carton. No matter if you are a shipping to Amazon or shipping to any 3PL warehouse, if your inventory, if you are packing your inventory in a master carton, it must be a 5-ply. What mostly Chinese sellers, if you don't have a good relationship, if you are new to them and as a new customers, they will mostly pack on a 3-ply cartons, so that are actually a very weak. When you put one carton on another cartons, so then they actually deform on different on a different sides. So if you are shipping means a product that have a more volumetric weight, so if your cartons will deform, so your freight forwarder will cost you, so you have a more chargeable weight, because in a shipping world, so we consider a weight in a two way. One is called a gross weight. The gross weight is actually the actual weight what you put on a weight scale, and the volumetric weight and a dimensional weight what you actually calculate by the dimensions. For example, this is a simple formula. If you multiply all three dimension, weight, length, width, height, divided by 6,000, so that will be your dimensional weight. In a shipping world, if you're we will consider a chargeable weight. Which one is a higher, either a dimensional weight or a dimensional weight or a gross weight. So if you are shipping any product that have a more volumetric weight, so if your product deform from one side, so you need to pay more for your shipping. So you must need to tell your suppliers, pack my inventory in a 5-ply carton, not less than this. If he's willing to pack in a 7-ply carton, it is wonderful. So other than this, if you are shipping to Amazon, so you have a shipping label as well. So you must need to put your shipping label on a opposite side to each other, not on a bottom or a top, just on a side that are opposite to each other, two label on a one carton. So you also need to take care about the dimensions. The maximum weight of the carton should not be more than a 50 pound, and dimension should not be larger than 25 centimeter, and the length can be a 36 centimeter. This is a recent update. Initially it was a 25 inches from each side, not a centimeter. Sorry for this mistake. So and the length can be up to a 36 inches. So, and other than this, if you are shipping a bulky item like a games, like a table, like anything, so you don't use a you can say a carton. Must need to use a pilots, and you must need to wrap the pilots from all the side as well. So this is the best strategy for the packaging. uh, other than this uh, other than this, always tell your, for example, if you are shipping any sensitive product, always use a protections, because during the shipping, during the shipping or a transit, that is not in the control of freight forwarder. They cannot control, because we actually hand over the goods to the vessel. So the vessel is the one, vessel labor is the one who are actually loading the goods or unloading the goods. So they actually handle the goods as a standard. So if you are shipping any fragile product, must use a protection, because otherwise you will have to face a loss, because they will eventually break. So this is the way.
Yeah, the fragile product is something I see a lot of people not think through. That they might buy a pack of glasses, or I could say a case of glasses, let's say 12 glasses, and they're not individually packaged securely. Now you have to pay Amazon to prep them. It's a far more cost efficient means of just making sure they're packaged from the factory in a way that's going to allow them to endure the shipping when broken out individually to ship to the customer. That's a bad example because most people don't buy glass that's a single glass. But if it was, let's say, a case of vases or something like that, plan for the prep work done in the factory, and then also think about the actual product that's going to show up to the customer and how does that experience look like. We're a big fan of having a presentation style box, something when you get, you have a good feeling about the products, not just a poly bag with a label or, just a plain brown box. This is something that looks substantial. Think like Apple. It gives you that kind of special feeling when you open up the box. So think about like the presentation and then think about how could I get the consumers to engage with my brand? And that can be a QR code, it can be a product insert. Never say, scan here if you are happy and leave a good review. Like that would be against Amazon terms of service, but you can ask for a review. You can give them your customer service information. If you have problems, think like a furniture big stop sign, call it, don't return to the store. You can implement those types of strategies that will give the customer a better experience, improve your return rates and your customer satisfaction rates on Amazon, and ultimately lead to those customers hopefully getting their issues resolved versus doing the easy thing, which is just simply returning it to Amazon. And it might have been something real simple, like they didn't understand. Those are things that I think are really important. And the other is the instructions. Like if you're if you're selling a product, let's say it's a furniture item, don't do the IKEA approach, like where everyone's confused or just icons. Like actually make it a little more robust manual on how to assemble it. Maybe have a QR code for them to watch a video on how to assemble it. And by the way, when they go to your website to watch those videos, you can cookie their browsers and might recommend a pop-up modal across your entire site to capture their email address, or maybe get them to register for an extended warranty, where now you have all of their information. And for example, some sellers say, it might come with a 1-year warranty, but if you go and register the warranty, we'll give you a bonus 3-month warranty. So think about all of those aspects before you finalize your packaging. Anything else to add on the consumer-facing packaging?
Yeah, I 100% agree. So I really enjoyed while listening you, because you are selling you are selling on Amazon. You are consulting the one who are selling on Amazon, and I really love what advice you are giving to the people. So the one last thing I would just want to say. Uh, Amazon is not going to give a prep services. I believe from next year. I don't remember the exact date. And many people,
Yeah.
when we met at Accelerate, so I talk about a lot of people, and a lot of people are much worried about this. And I told them, why you guys are paying too much hefty amounts to Amazon to preparing your shipments? Why you are not preparing from your clients and it from your supplier? Because I met a lot of people who are actually sourcing from China, and they are not getting their inventory prepared from their suppliers. This says that it will be a problematic for us how we can ship the goods. I can just tell you about the labor cost. For example, if you are putting just the FNSKU label on your cotton, on your item label, so in US, the minimum fee what you pay to your 3PL warehouse is around 50 cents per item label, right? But what you will pay in China, that is just a 5 to 6 cent. So you can imagine that is almost a 10 times lower than US. So always, because in China you have you can get an idea from your supplier as well, but mostly people what they do, they don't care about the packaging. I 100% agree with you. The packaging, and when your customer is opening the packaging, they must give him a premium feeling. So if you don't feel premium, I just go and return it to any nearby store. So because the premium feeling must also be a part of your purchasing journey.
Yeah, and you're up against a lot of competitors that are factories selling direct, and you need to be thinking about how can I portray myself better with presentation on the website to get them to initially buy it. But once they get it, how can I make that look like something that's more substantial from a brand that they trust, they want to buy more from, especially if it's like a repeat purchase item, like a supplement or something. Like give the consumer confidence, like I actually want to ingest this. I don't feel fearful that it's in some generic packaging. Um, and We talked about UPC codes briefly. Sometimes brands try and skimp on that and say, well, I'm not going to buy the UPC codes. I'll just register for a UPC exemption, put an FN barcode on there. But think about, okay, well, what if I start selling this product on other channels? Those other channels may require a UPC code. What if I want to liquidate it in a TJ Maxx or something like that? Those channels are going to require a UPC code. Why not, have that put on the packaging from the get-go? It eliminates the additional labeling fees. And if for some reason you don't do that, at least consider having the manufacturer print the FNSKU barcodes on the product versus you having to label with additional FNSKU stickers on top of the product. Just additional means of trying to save on costs, right?
Exactly. That these are the most important things as a sellers. Everyone need to consider this, and definitely I am planning to have a podcast with you about these things because I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to join you. I know we only have a couple minutes. Why don't you just tell me a little bit about any differences that you see with TikTok and Walmart and other marketplaces, or differences in different countries? I know like some of our clients have shipped into UK, for example, and they're always used to shipping pallets into US, but their warehouse in UK, or at least some of the European marketplaces, have differing pallet, requirements and things like that. What are the things that may differ that come to mind? And is that something that you actually would help the sellers to understand, or do they have to do that investigative work and communicate that to you to make sure it's all palletized properly, labeled properly, things like that?
Okay. Uh, the first thing is that, for example, if you are selling on any marketplace, either it can be Amazon, it can be a Walmart, it can be a TikTok. So I will highly recommend you guys uh, to means, for example, you don't need to take your goods as in a pallets, because maybe you will disagree with me, but as a freight forwarder, what I have experienced, I am just telling you, take this in a loose cartons, means in a just ask your freight forwarder, ask your supplier to just pack this inventory in a cartons. So I will explain why. Because once you will, if I will get any inventory in pilots, I will actually remove the pilots when I am shipping from China to US. The reason is that if I use the pallets, and for example, if the inventory is packed in a carton and they put the carton on a pallet, so pallet is a unnecessary packaging. So because I just need, as a freight forwarder, I just need to save my space. I need to load maximum inventory in a container uh, to ship the inventory, to ship them. So, for example, if you are sending the inventory to Amazon or a AWD, and it is a LCL shipment, means a less than container load. So there is basically a requirement of Amazon they will receive the inventory in a pallet. So what we do as a freight forwarder, so we don't ship the inventory from China to US, from Chinese port to US port in a pallet. So once the inventory is loaded in a US port, so and after the custom clearance, we take this inventory in a warehouse, means on a port warehouses, and then we actually palletize those inventories and put the pallet label, each and everything that are basically Amazon requirement, and then we send the inventory to Amazon warehouses. So and for you guys as well, so if you send any product in a pallet, so they will cover a more area. So if they will cover a more area, so their dimensional weight will be a more, so you guys are going to pay a more for these pallets. But there are some specific products, they must need to be palletized, otherwise they will be damaged in a cartons. For those specific product, we use a pallet we ship them as a pallets. But for mostly product, about a 90 to 95% product, if we are receiving a product in a pallet, we actually remove them in our warehouse and we ship them in a loose carton. And once the inventory is reached on a US, then we palletize them. And the other thing about what you actually mentioned about the investigation, uh, what I have experienced, mostly people says that I just need to ship this inventory from position A to position B. For example, from China to US, any Amazon warehouses, they don't care about the services. Means they don't ask about which vessel you guys are going to use, because what mostly people do, means we call them a scam. So actually they take the inventory into their warehouses. If they don't have enough inventory, they will actually hold that specific inventory in a warehouse for 1 or 2 weeks. Once they have another inventory, then they consolidate them, and then they ship them. But what you guys are actually losing, so your inventory is not reaching on the time. So if your inventory is not reaching on time, so you guys have a low stock on Amazon. After if you have a low stock on Amazon, it will hurt your PPC as well. It will hurt your ranking as well. Means all the budget that you are putting on the advertising, that they are all going into a waste. So what I told the peoples, always care about everything. For example, if you are shipping with any company, so tell them, please give me a price. Mostly people say that this is a standard C, this is a fast C, this is a slow C. I told them there is no such thing. Always ask about the service. Which service are you guys using? You are guys going to ship my product with which company? Either it can be a Costco, it can be a Zim, it can be a One Group, it can be a Medicine. So ask them about these things, and always ask people to give them a vessel tracking ID. Mostly people give you a tracking ID after port. For example, if they are backed by UPS, FedEx, DHL, no, always ask them to give them a vessel tracking ID, because vessel tracking IDs give you a transparency. They will give you a each detail, means which vessel your freight forwarder is using, when it is departed from the last port, when it is departed from the origin port, when it is going to be reached on a destination port, at what speed your vessel is sailing in the sea, what is the current position of your vessel in the sea. If there is any problem, you don't need to change your freight forwarder, you just need to take that this vessel tracking ID, put on a tracking field, just click on a track button, every detail will be in front of you. So it will give you a clear picture. And for example, if someone is actually holding your shipment, not shipping on time because they don't have enough inventory, they are waiting for someone who actually give you an inventory of that destination, and they will consolidate you. So you can just, if someone is not giving you a vessel tracking ID, it means that there is some fishy thing that he is going to do. For example, he actually charge you for a premium service, like they charge you for shipping with the medicine, but he is not giving you a vessel tracking ID. How can you know that he actually ship your inventory with the fast vessel? They are just
Yeah.
giving you a UPS tracking ID, that will be applicable once your inventory will be reached in US. So I will always ask them, don't ever ship with any company who don't give you a vessel tracking ID. Vessel tracking ID is mandatory for a ocean shipping.
Those are good suggestions, and unfortunately, we're in a world where there's a lot of bad actors that don't always do things the right way. Are there any other scams that they should be looking out for when planning to work with a freight forwarder, planning to get their inventory from a factory, anything like that?
Okay, I told you, in China, almost every month there are there are 2 to 3 companies that actually files a bankruptcy every month. The thing is that they quoted at too low prices, and then they took the to get the inventories. Once they have the inventory in the warehouses and they don't have their funds to actually run their business, they file the bankruptcy. Once any freight forwarder will file a bankruptcy, it means that you are going to lose that specific inventory. So if any of your freight forwarder will quote our low prices that are impossible, so don't give the inventory to that specific freight forwarders. Always have a means. Always check their backgrounds. Always check where they belongs to. They check their physical presence as well. Ask them to give your trust pilot profile, because trust pilot have all the reviews about that specific companies. So
Yeah.
you must need to do all this investigation before giving any inventory to your freight forwarders. So this is and
No, those are good suggestions, because you don't want to invest your hard-earned money in inventory, and then the factory or the freight forwarder uh, end up screwing you, and you got to be smart about it. No, this is great. Thank you so much. Why don't you tell the audience how they can reach out to you if they want to reach out and connect?
Okay, so they can reach out to me through LinkedIn as well. I am just giving you my LinkedIn profile as well. So they can reach out to me here as well. I can give you my uh, website as well. If you, it will be great
Yeah.
if you can actually put on your
We'll definitely put those
just.
links. So wherever you're listening to this or watching this, there'll be links to Saqlain to be able to reach out to him on LinkedIn or his website. And is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up?
So thank you so much, Steve, to have me in the podcast. So I will always says that do your due diligence before handing your inventory to anyone. And if someone will ask you advance payment, if you are your new client, so this is also a red flag, because we as a elevate logistic always give up payment terms to our client, because we know about the value of client. But if someone is asking you advance payment for the shipment, it is always a red signal as well, because they can take your money and they can take your shipment, because we receive almost 2 to 3 complaints every month. Once anyone face a issue like that, their supplier actually took their freight forwarder actually quoted them too low. Once they have their inventory in the freight forwarder warehouses, then they use different tactic and different other methods to get more money from the freight forwarders. So I always says that if you are doing any business, always do a due diligence, always do a contract. So once you have your contract with that specific company, so there are less chances that they can dodge you.
Yeah. No, it's all great stuff. It sounds this was all really great insight. So thank you so much. And for those that want to reach out to me, feel free to reach out at primeguidance.com. I'll be happy to set up a free 30-minute introductory call where I can give you some free advice around your listings, your go-to-market strategy, whatever it is. And thanks so much for joining the Prosperous Sellers podcast. Until next time, bye bye.